everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrienne Keyser and I'm so excited that you're here. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of the items that I picked up at the Belmopan Weekly Market. Today was a great market day. Market days are Tuesdays and Fridays here in Belmopan. I picked up some amazing produce and I can't wait to show you what I got. But before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome. I do hope that you will subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to see some of the great things I picked up at the market, then please keep watching. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to show you these items. First up is from one of my favorite vendors. He actually was not at his stall today because he is now doing a different stall where he's doing roasted chicken. And so when I got to the stall, one of his family members, she's speaking to me in Spanish going, he's not here, he's over doing roasted chicken. And I was like, I didn't understand anything. So there was another young lady that was there and she interpreted it for me and was telling me that the guy that I usually purchase my produce from is now doing roasted chicken. So once I purchased my produce from there, I went over to the stall. She walked me over there and I picked up a whole roasted chicken. Let me show you this thing. It's amazing. It's got a little bit of the juices in the bag, so I'm just gonna unwrap it like this. Look at this thing. Look at this chicken. Look at this entire roasted chicken. Is that not totally beautiful? It's cooked to perfection. It smells incredible. And this entire thing was $25 Belize, which is $12 for this entire roasted chicken. I'm so excited. And the chicken here in Belize obviously is different than it is in the States. It's much fresher. It doesn't have all the chemicals injected into it. So I'm super excited for this. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit more before I get it into my fridge. Now I'm gonna go into my backpack. This is usually how I transport all of my produce, but I had some big things in here today, so I didn't get as much in my backpack as I usually do. So let's see, first up, now this is an item that I believe is called crudu. I'm not exactly sure, but it's this incredible green leafy vegetable. Look at this. Isn't this incredible? It actually is just like spinach. You cook it just like you do spinach. I usually put, garlic and onions into a pan with some butter, get that all roasted up, and then throw this in there. It's heaven. It's a little more bitter than, say, spinach, but it's not as bitter as arugula. It's absolutely delicious, and I highly recommend it. If you're here in Belize, pick this up, and you'll thank me later. Now from that same vendor, I picked up a couple of more things. I got a little bag of spinach. This was like nothing. I think maybe $3 or $4 Belize. I also got, look at this eggplant. Look at this baby. Isn't that beautiful? Perfect eggplant. Unbelievable. And the last thing I got from her was mint. She's my mint vendor. I go to her. I go to her every week to get my mint, and it's incredible. Look at this. Look at how beautiful. Look at that. Oh, it smells incredible. And yeah, she's my mint vendor. I have to go to her first because she sells out of mint really, really quickly. She actually didn't have any in her stall. She had to go over to a friend's stall to pick it up. But yeah, so excited every week that I get this. Oh, all right. So that is from my mint vendor lady. That's what I call her. I call her my mint vendor. Back to the vendor I was talking about that's now doing the roasted chicken. This is the produce that I picked up from his stand. Usually if my mint lady doesn't have mint, he always has it. He didn't have any today, but I had already purchased it from my mint lady. Like I said, I go to her stall first because she sells out of it so quickly. So these are the items that I picked up from his stall. First up are just some red potatoes. I actually had quite a few, so I only got 2 red potatoes this time. I have a bowl full of them, so I didn't need that many. But he's the only vendor that has colored peppers, and look at them. Look at these beautiful peppers. Aren't they stunning? Here, let me put this down. Look at these. Aren't these absolutely beautiful? And yeah, like I said, he's the only vendor that has the colored peppers. So I love it when he has. He doesn't always have them. So sometimes he'll just have the green peppers, which here they call them sweet peppers. But he's the only one that has colored peppers. And look at how beautiful these are. Oh, love. Okay. He also carries green beans. Sometimes they have them already bagged, and sometimes you can just pick them individually. I was being lazy today, so I got ones that were already bagged up and they looked really good. So I wasn't really concerned about having to pick up them individually, which I will do sometimes. If the bagged ones don't look that great, I will go through and pick them individually. But he had these already bagged up, so yum. Well, let me show them to you because they are so vibrant. And they just taste so delicious. Look at these. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at these. I mean, the size of my head, people. These are the green beans here in Belize. Amazing, right? And sometimes you'll get little ones in the bag. Like here's a little one. Still pretty big, but you know. Yeah, so there's the green beans. Next up from our same vendor is corn. Now corn here is, it can be a little tricky. If you buy ears of corn, you know, like with the husks on, you can't always tell if it's going to be good or not. And sometimes the little fronds on the top, you know, they say they're supposed to be a certain color. I've gotten them when they look really, really fresh and still inside the corn was not that great. Because, you know, there'll be like kernels missing out of it and just also much starchier. So I buy them in these packs because they already have most of the husk removed. And also you can see that the kernels are pretty uniform. Yeah, none where there's none missing. So that's why I actually buy the corn in the packaging. Now I will say that the corn here is definitely starchier. It's not as sweet. You know, I'm from Maryland, so we've got some really sweet corn where you can just pick it and eat it right off the husk. These are not the same. You actually have to cook them a little bit to get that sweetness out. So yeah, you can't just put them into a salad. You can, what I usually do is if I want to put them into a salad, I just roast them with a little bit of butter into a pan for a few minutes just to kind of get that sweetness going. So there we go. Corn. My same vendor, that same vendor, I always buy my lettuce from this vendor. Look at this lettuce. Is that gorgeous? Look at and it's huge. just delicious. In a salad, on a sandwich, the lettuce is incredible. Also pretty inexpensive. So I purchased all that produce and I think it came, total was $40, which is $40 Belize, which is $20 US. That's for the corn, the peppers, the green beans, the lettuce, the potatoes. Yeah, all of that was $20 US. Pretty great, right? And then after I purchased all that, she was like, well, what about this and what about that? And I was like, I don't really know. So I was like, well, let me take a look at it. And so I went around the stall to the side, and the pineapples and ginger looked so incredible that I had to pick them up. So here are the pineapples. Now, the pineapples here are little baby pineapples, and it actually came with the stem on it, but I always ask them to break it off just to make it easy for me to transport. But I got these two, and as you can see, she literally just cut, and actually they don't cut them off, they break them off, the stem ends. Aren't they beautiful? Now, they're not huge. You know, pineapples here in Belize aren't GMO and garbage, so this is what real pineapples look like. So these two pineapples were 2 for $5 Belize. That's $2.50 US, so that's $1.25 per pineapple. And they're fresh and beautiful. Look at that. It's gonna be a few days before I can eat them because they're not quite ripe. And that's the way I like it. I like for it to be able to continue to ripen so that I know that it's going to be fresh and delicious. So those were the two pineapples. So look at the ginger. If you know anything about me, I am a ginger fanatic. It's my favorite thing to put in water, tea. I make tea, ginger tea out of it. And look at how fresh that ginger is. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely stunning? The skins are still nice and smooth. So you know that that is new ginger. That is some fresh ginger. And I don't remember what she charged me for these. I don't even really care. It's ginger. I'll buy it every day of the week. So that was all that I bought from my favorite vendor. And last vendor that I go to, I call her my fruit vendor because she has fruits at her stand that no one else has. Things like Asian pears, plums, peaches, nectarines, kiwi. Not every vendor at the market has those types of things, so I call her my fruit vendor, and these are the items that I picked up from her. Even though I said she's my fruit vendor, she also is the only vendor I can find that sells mushrooms. This was $6 for this pack, Belize, which is $3 US. So these are the champignons. So they're like little white button mushrooms, basically. And again, it was $6 for the pack. She also has a huge pack of portobello mushroom caps, and I think those are $14 US, and I was running out of cash, so I didn't end up getting those, but I have gotten those in the past, and they're amazing. But I just got the button mushrooms this week. So she also has kiwi. Love the kiwi. Now my fruit vendor, of course, she charges the most for things just because, you know, fruit here is either coconuts, pineapples, you know, things like that. So if they're imported, it does cost a little bit more, but she does have incredible kiwi. I always buy my kiwi from her, and these are huge, nice big size, and they're still firm. So it's gonna be quite some time before they're ripe, and I love that. She also has apples. Now these are really tiny apples. Sometimes she has bigger ones. She also had green apples, and again, she had the Asian pears and all kinds of things. But I haven't had the best of luck with apples here in Belize. Sometimes the apples are a little bit mealy. So, you know, even when I do my tried and true test of if I can press on it and I get no resistance, I know that they're crisp. I have done that test a few times and still ended up with mealy apples. So I didn't buy too many. I just got 3. They just looked really, really good. So, and I've been dying for some apples, so pick those up. And lastly, the item that is always expensive. Grapes are expensive everywhere, right? So these were, look at how beautiful these grapes are. Aren't they beautiful? It was $6 per pound. So that's $3 US per pound. And so I only got a pound, but look at how beautiful. Oh, so excited to dive into those. I always get grapes. Usually they're about $13, depending upon, you know, who you get them from. So grapes can be a little bit pricey, but I get them anyway because I love grapes. On my way out of the market, there's a lot of vendors that are lined up as you are walking out to the street, and I'm always trying to find a taxi to get me home. There are always, you know, vendors that sell various types of fruit. I think 2 weeks ago, I picked up some mangoes. They're still not ripe. Those things are still brick hard and are taking forever to ripen. But this week, one of the vendors had watermelon, and they were little baby watermelons. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get those. When you buy fruit here, sometimes you can just buy half the fruit, and he did have some of these split open to sell as half, but I ended up picking up 2 of them. They were $1 each, $1 Belize. That's 50 cents US per watermelon. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, I actually gave him a $1 US, I actually gave him a dollar bill because someone had given me a dollar bill, which I hate when people give me US money because then I have to do the math. So I ended up giving him that $1 bill and got these 2 amazing watermelons. The last thing that I did today, and I do this as often as I can, is I went to the bakery to get bread. When you buy bread in the stores, they're really small little pieces of bread. It is a loaf of bread, but they just are not US size. I'll put it to you that way. Normally, you're just used to that, you know, US bread is gonna give you a nice slice of bread. Here, they're much, much smaller. And for me, it kind of, like if I'm making a tomato sandwich, it's like I can only get 2 tomatoes on it, you know? So I ended up going to the bakery to buy my bread. And this week, they actually had the bread that I wanted. I've had to buy some bread that I wasn't that happy with, but this week they did have my bread. So here it is. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, at Casa Pan Dolce, I went back to Casa Pan Dolce. That's where I always go. Here's the bag. And this is the bread that I like. It's called, yeah, so it's the Casa Pan Dolce Bakery, and they make these sesame buns. So what I do, so it's a whole loaf like that. And what I do is you cut them in half, and it's the perfect sandwich amount. And it's the perfect size for a really good sandwich. So that's what I do. There's 4 that come in a pack. And I got 2 of them. These were $16 Belize. So that's $8. Pretty great, right? And they're fresh. I mean, they make them fresh there at the bakery every day. So, you know, it's gonna be a good sandwich. And that's it, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed seeing some of the incredible produce that they have here in Belize, in Belmopan. I didn't pick up a few things because I went to a market on Saturday because they have a market that's a little bit closer to my house. And I just wanted to check out what they had. So some of the things that I normally pick up at the weekly market, I ended up getting on Saturday. And since I already had picked those up, I didn't get any at my weekly market. But I will say that the Saturday market was not as good. It's definitely worth me waiting until Tuesday or Friday to do the regular market. And it's really easy to get to. I actually walk up there, but since I have all of this to bring back, I usually just get a taxi, which is like $6 Belize from the market to my house, which is $3 US for me to go. But I actually had him take me from the market over to the bakery because the bakery is a little bit of a distance. It is walkable, but not when you have all this produce wrapped on your back. So I had him take me over to Casa Pan Dolce to get my bread and then had him bring me home. So it was $6 per stop, so that was $12. Belize, so it was $6 per cab ride. And you know, the cabs, depending upon your cab driver, sometimes he'll charge you to wait, like because I had to go into the bakery, so they might charge you an extra $1 to wait, but not always. And this particular taxi driver did not charge me for the wait, so it was just $12 Belize, which is $6 US. All right, you guys, that's everything. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, I do hope you will subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. And until next time, you better Belize it. Bye.